Marcus Weisberger of Defense One tweeted, breaking, Navy Secretary Carlos del Toro says that within the next 6 months, the U.S. Navy may need to choose between arming itself or Ukraine. Let me read what Weisberger tweeted again. This was today. Within the next 6 months, the U.S. Navy may need to choose between arming itself or Ukraine. If there is a 1% chance of that actually coming true, it is terrifying. It's jaw-dropping. If we can't defend ourselves, nothing else matters, literally nothing. You know all that cool video of Russian tanks and helicopters blowing up? It's because of the javelins and stingers and ammunition and drones and God knows what else we are sending to Ukraine. And if you dare question sending the aid, well, then somehow you are pro-Putin. So let's think about how this works. We have to arm Ukraine to stand up to Putin. But the Navy Secretary just warned we might be giving Ukraine so many weapons we can't resupply our own military during a war. A war with who, you might ask? Oh, Xi Jinping of China. They want to invade Taiwan. President Biden has said we will defend Taiwan militarily. So by being anti-Putin, we open ourselves up to Chinese aggression. Make your own judgment what kind of trade that is. To be fair, Marcus, the reporter, later deleted the original tweet under perhaps pressure from the Pentagon. The Secretary of the Navy himself, Carlos del Toro, tweeted up a storm clarifying his remarks with a bunch of PR doublespeak. Oh, it's not that bad, they then said. The DOD, and particularly Kath Hicks, have been working very, very closely with industry to motivate them to find out what their challenges or obstacles are to be able to increase their own production rates. Right. We are working very, very closely. That doesn't mean squat if American soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines don't have the supply of weapons they need and aren't able to resupply for a long and enduring conflict. And at least right now, they may not. Marcus reports this all started earlier today at a conference with Admiral Daryl Caudle, head of U.S. Fleet Forces Command, who said companies, meaning the weapons manufacturers, were delivering missile interceptors and torpedoes late. The implication of the delays, he said, did not just hurt the United States, but others who rely on those weapons. Here's Marcus's clarification tweet. SecNav Carlos del Toro was asked if the Navy might get to the point where it has to make the decision whether it needs to arm itself or arm Ukraine, and has the Navy gotten to that point yet? This is the clarification. This is supposed to make things be better. It's supposed to reassure all of us. His response, meaning the Secretary of the Navy's response, was with regards to deliveries of weapon systems for the fight in Ukraine, yeah, that's always a concern for us, and we monitor it very closely. What on earth are we doing? If it is a concern, make sure it doesn't happen. Here is a non-exhaustive list of everything we have given Ukraine, including 1,000 tanks and 2,500 explosive drones. You don't replace tanks and 1,500 ground support vehicles and 30 air defense systems and 20 helicopters and 100 radar communication systems by calling the local Toyota dealership and asking for the Super Bowl sign and drive special. It takes years, even decades, to bring the production lines back up, to build the arsenal of democracy. Other cable news hosts will call us pro-Putin for having this discussion, or they'll say we're alarmists. Fine. If, big if, because we are not pro-Putin. But if we were, we would put up this graph showing the more than $72 billion in American aid to Ukraine. It is more in terms of military aid than the rest of the world combined. We would then show you all the canceled flights today because of the FAA's computer systems that date to before I was born and say, gee, maybe we should spend that money here at home. We aren't making that argument. But when the Secretary of the Navy says we might have to choose between arming our allies and protecting America, that shouldn't be a choice. And at the very least, you should be able to have that conversation. Ambassador Bill Taylor is here, former U.S. ambassador to Ukraine. Mr. Ambassador, we always appreciate you being with us. Thank you, sir. Do we need to arm Ukraine at any cost?
Not at any cost, Leland. We do need to arm Ukraine because arming Ukraine enables them to fight for us. They are fighting our fight. Leland, the defense budget, as you know, is about $850 billion just this year. About 5% of that is going to Ukraine this year. That suggests to me that the work that the Ukrainians are doing, the fight that the Ukrainians are putting up, the damage that the Ukrainians are doing to Russia, one of our main adversaries, what the Defense Department calls the acute threat. The acute threat is Russia, and Ukraine is fighting that acute threat on our behalf.
No. Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.